Herbert Rosenbluth, biocontrolman, second class. So I went to DeWitt Clinton High School. I was a fairly good student. I can't say that I spent a lot of time on the books, but I had pretty much a natural ability when it came to math. And in high school, I was in the normal classes. When I say normal, of course, they had what they called honor math. And if you were really good, you got into the honor math. And the others were just the regular. They were not normal and abnormal. They were just regular classes. And one year, I had this buddy in the class, and we used to sit there and be joking around all the time. And the English teacher didn't take a liking to it, and she put me in the what should I say, the subnormal English class. So in the next grade, I went to this English class. It was the best grade I ever got because I was pretty normal, and some of the guys were not at all. And so I shone in that class. That was the only English class. And then she put me back into the regular English class, and because that was not my favorite. Language classes, I did pretty well. So math and language, pretty well. History, not so well. Geography, better than history. And then I graduated in 1940. I had a sister. She was 5 years older than I was. And she went to Walton High School, which was close by. It was an all-girls school. I forgot to mention, DeWitt Clinton was an all-boys school. And I think at the time I went there, I didn't know firsthand, but I had heard there were 10,000 in enrollment at the time. I know we had a morning session, an afternoon session, and an in-between session, so I guess there were that many. My graduating class had about 2,000 or 2,500, something like that. It was a very big all-boys school. So let's see, the course I took was called a commercial course. I might have told you this before. It was called a commercial course, and so I was not equipped to do anything when I graduated. I got a job by one of the older fellows that lived in an apartment house. Got me a job. I guess I was making $1/4 an hour, which was minimum wage, and running errands. I used to. They made jewelry findings, and they had a lot of customers in the 30s, and I used to deliver them by hand. And oh yeah, well, I forgot to mention, when I graduated, I started Brooklyn College. My grades were good enough to get into Brooklyn College, which required better grades than, they only took a certain number, like city, it's part of the city system. And I had a problem because I couldn't get all the books. The tuition was free. I couldn't get all the books I needed, and some of the books were too expensive for my parents to buy, even though a book might cost $6, so that was way out of what they could afford. And so that was a handicap, so I had to drop physics as a subject, and then, but the other subjects I covered, and I think I finished the semester there, and then I didn't renew. And that's when I went on and got the job. And after that, I guess I got laid off because things got slow, and I found another job working in a place. They were all just jobs that some of them I had to pay a fee to get. I had to pay a week's salary to get the job, and so that was, to my liking. And then I got a job, which I got through an agency, and it's paid a quarter an hour. I worked a sheet folding machine, sheet metal folding machine, hand machine. You put the sheet metals in, and I worked at that job for 48 hours a week, and they paid it. Of course, 40 hours, you're supposed to get time and a half. Over 40, he didn't do that. He gave us the straight time and just fooled around with the books to make it look like I was getting time and a half. So we showed lesser hours to make it look like time and a half. And had that job for a while. Eleanor Roosevelt started the National News Administration. And I always liked to fool around with electrical things around the house. My father wasn't handy at that stuff, and I was handier than he was. And so I was interested in that. And so we had classes for a couple of hours, and then we had we worked working on electrical projects. And I worked there for about 3 months, and they sent me out. They wanted to know if I wanted a job. I said, sure, I want a job. And they sent me out to a place that had hired all fellows from the NYA. Some were lathe operators, some were lathe operators and other milling machine operators and works of that nature. And he had hired all people from the NYA, and there were a couple of people who had come over from Europe, and they had a contract to make switches switches that would use on ships. When the door was open, the lights would go out, and I forgot the exact name. They call them Mayo. They made those, and I would work on electrical, hooking up machines, hooking up equipment. It was all old equipment. It broke down a lot, and I worked on that. That was my main job, and then I'd also have to do production jobs when I didn't have any electrical jobs to do, and that was fine until the union. One of the fellows got us into the electrical union, the manufacturing branch of it, and they happened to have some guy come around to inspect, and he came around for some reason anyhow, and he saw me working on electrical work, and he said, if I ever see that, I'm going to knock you off the ladder. So I couldn't do it anymore, and I had to do production work. Once in a while I'd be able to do something in the electrical line, but most of the time I was doing production work. And I don't know exactly how long, but I did that for quite a few months. And then I had to sign up for the draft. Everybody had to sign up for the draft.